What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Knightsman Channel. What we got today is we've got a 2-hour verdict video on the life path of the corporate for Cyberpunk 2077. Now, super excited because this game looks stunning. Yes, we've done 2 hours already under the life path on the corporate. But before we crack on with the video, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to our sponsors, which is the developer CD Projekt Red. Thank you so much for hooking the channel up and allowing us to do this review for everyone out there. Because our videos are based around the life paths, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown or description of what a life path is, so you can make a good choice. So life paths are playable introductions to Cyberpunk 2077. They are less about building your character from a playstyle and stat perspective and more about choosing the type of character you want to step into the shoes of. It's an important part of building your V, and which life path you want to experience is the first choice you make when starting the game. V has 3 potential backstories, each one of them giving you a taste of the dark future from a different status and perspective. Each life path features its own character, introduction quest, and starting locations. Your choice will most directly affect the beginning of the game, but you'll find longer term ramifications as you get deeper into Night City, including opening up specific dialogue options and new opportunities further down the line. So we're just going to go down into a quick definition of the corporate life path. So it says you pretty much made it. You're one of the agents with a body oozing with top of the line military grade cyberware. There's stresses and pressure, sure, but you've got perks. The general, populace can only experience via brain dance. You've got it all. What could possibly go wrong? Now, obviously your character's V, and we've done a video already talking about the street kid. However, this deep dive we're doing into the corporate, we're going to go into the background, or what advantages the background brings with being corporate. So V has spent years maneuvering through competitive back office scene in the organization, so you have first-hand experience when it comes to dealing with corporations. This means knowing how corporate agents operate, how they manipulate people. Corporate V is far less likely to be caught out by shady corporate tricks, seeing past bluffs that would otherwise land you in hot water. You can even turn the tables thanks to your cutthroat corporate knowledge. Now that sounds pretty epic, and the first gist of the feeling I've got of being corporate was that you come from a high place. You've put in the work, and now that you're reaping the rewards of being in that high class in Night City. Now the first introduction story aspect, which we talked about in the breakdown of the life paths, you do get to experience the taste of being introduced to Cyberpunk 2077, and it was perfect in terms of you being put straight into that corporate environment, into a building, lots of people going hard at work, and then you've got the big boss calling you into your office and then making you do a semi-impossible task, and then how holding you accountable basically, but in some way, shape or form you end up meeting Jackie, which is one of your companions, one of your your hustlers that go through with you. Now, no matter what 3 life paths you choose, this character will be introduced in different manners, and I did like the corporate side of things, introducing the character, because they made him feel like he wasn't a stranger, that they knew each other prior, which was good. That's the feeling I got, and I felt instantly connected to that character. So yeah, it was absolutely awesome. So looking into the corporate side of things, it says here that in the future this is gonna affect you at the start and the way you're introduced to quests and you're introduced to different characters. However, it's also going to bring longer term ramifications when you get deeper into Night City. And I think that corporate background, if you're picking this life path, I think will come into advantage a little bit deeper when you get in, because you can hopefully not be sucked into the agents and you can kind of maneuver around them without any problems and not getting tricked by any shadiness that these agents bring, and seeing past bluffs as stated previous. But looking through the gameplay, you know, we did create our character pretty quick off. We chose a woman to change it up, and yeah, obviously it brought a different aspect, a different connection to Jackie. Scene is quite different. It's quite, you know, you're starting from an elevated position or a much premium side of Night City, being corporate, and then, you know, on your mission you're driving or flying through Night City, and then when you're coming from a high place down to a lower slums, you know, that it really did make you feel that way when driving through, and then, you know, pretty much punching out the locals to get into the bar was pretty cool as well. But how they set it up in terms of the introduction, I felt was pretty smooth, and then pretty much kicking you from the top to the bottom, which you'll find very soon, and then you can really develop your character as said. So each of these different characters will come to the same point in terms of the story. You will play the same missions. It's just basically the whole thing of it is just the introduction, and then hopefully the perks and that later on. But yeah, because I've already played the Street Kid, you know, playing another 2 hours playing the same missions was kind of, yeah, it was kind of that same feeling. So I'm hoping that, you know, later down the track, you know, you're going to find that these different classes bring different perks and different experiences when dealing through Night City. But yeah, look, overall I think no matter what path you do go down, I think it's going to be well worth it in regards to enjoying it, because you're going to have that same experience regardless on what life path you choose. It's really just what you prefer or your preference. So if you, I guess, are from a corporate background in terms of real life, you know, this might fit straight into you, because sometimes what people like to do is recreate themselves in these games, so it makes them feel like, you know, you're V. So if that's the case, then, you know, picking a corporate kind of aspect is probably might be right down your track. But you know, there's quite a lot of different people in this game. There's you know, 6 districts in Night City, with their own visual styles, their atmosphere, their dangers, their opportunities. You've got the Badlands out there as well, which is more of the nomad, or that's where you start anyway. But you know, your whole, you know, starting aspect is you know, you're starting off at a different district in each of those life paths, which I think is pretty cool. And you can really, you know, get that sense by driving through you know, Night City and really seeing these different characters like Dexter, T-Bug, Jackie, Johnny Silverhand, all these different characters which will play a key role in your gameplay anyway. But yeah, look, I think the game visually is stunning, and I think you need to play on a newer console, the new generations, either the new Xbox or the new PlayStation 5, to really get that you know, massive world effect. Because there was a lot of times going through the game where, you know, it did take quite a bit to load, and it was quite blurry, and then became, you know, defined. Like, I feel like with the new console generations, I think that will load up a lot more quicker, which will give you more of a seamless experience when going through. But you know, I did quite enjoy the corporate, and I think if I spent more time with it, I think that would be the forerunner of what I would choose. However, I did spend quite a bit of time on the Street Kid, but now we're going to pump on to the Nomad and really break down, you know, where they start and the feeling I got throughout that life path as well. But the best advice I can give you is, you know, pick what you feel is right and go with your gut, because regardless, you do the same missions, so overall you can't go wrong. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and comment down below which life path you've chosen. It was a solid good 2 hours playing the corporate life path. I did enjoy it, and I'll definitely recommend it as a solid start. So thank you for watching all this time. Definitely have a look at the Street Kid or the Nomad video, and then we're going to do a combination video at the end as well. So check out those other videos and see what one fits your description. But apart from that, thank you very much. That is Knightsman out. Cha-ching.